Republican presidential candidates were none too happy with the moderators of the CNBC's primary debate, culminating with this takedown by Ted Cruz.
This is not a cage match. And you look at the questions. Donald Trump, are you a comic book villain? Ben Carson, can you do math? John Kasich, will you insult two people over here? Marco Rubio, why don't you resign? Jeb Bush, why have your numbers fallen? How about talking about the substantive issues people care about?
That prompted the RNC to issue a list of demands for future debates. And while the RNC has since backed off, the media is now on notice. It needs to up its game. I don't know about that. I mean, I think that the RNC backed down so quickly because some of the candidates refused to sign on to that letter, which, by the way, was pretty boilerplate. I've been involved in dozens and dozens of debates, including some presidential ones. Those are kinds of questions that have always been asked and answered and mediated between whoever the host is and the candidates. And so then this last letter that came out was just wimpy, gutless, toothless. It will be interesting to see what happens, whether they continue to boycott the NBC debate in February.
Well, there's been a lot of criticism of the idea that, the candidates are demanding that the press give up its journalistic integrity. Well, I mean, I get that argument, but at the same time, as you well know, these things are always subject to negotiation. That's nothing new. Some of the demands have been ridiculous, such as we're going to control what's projected on the screen while they're talking. Some of them seem kind of reasonable. I mean, the one I like is include all the candidates, maybe have a round robin where you have 5 or 6 at a time, and everybody gets equal time to answer the question. I kind of like that. I don't think it would be a bad idea.
Yeah, I think it's the requests were not so crazy, with the one exception of approval of the graphics on screen. I think that is a legitimate violation of the journalistic needs of the network. The rest were pretty milquetoast. But what I think is important is they were not neutral demands for better journalism. That's not what they were. There's a reason why a lot of the demands were based around we want opening statements of a certain length, closing statements of a certain length, and there's a reason why Donald Trump did not sign on to the deal. It's because there are a whole bunch of candidates who feel that they're not getting enough camera time and they want to get more camera time. That is political positioning, not media criticism.
Well, the entire process was political positioning, really, because you had Ben Carson trying to lead and look like a leader, and then who was going to join, and then who was going to be the first to pull out and look like a leader for not joining. I mean, the entire process was part of the whole story of these campaigns trying to jostle for attention, which is what happens in these debates, and which is why, although I think the CNBC moderators maybe made some tone deaf kinds of questions, nothing that they did seemed to me completely out of bounds. They lost control of the entire process during the debate, but what they did was not so horrible that it warranted a mutiny.
No, it was just kind of embarrassing. Right? I mean, I remember going back and watching the tape of that. Who was it who asked the first question, the job interview question?
Was it John Harwood?
Harwood, I think.
No, that's right. No, it wasn't Harwood. Was it Carlos Quintanilla? Carlos? You could tell
Carlos Quintanilla.
He thought he was so clever as he was
I
asking.
know.
He had this smile. Well, this is sort of a job interview, and he thought it was great.
It was like a Barbara Walters, what kind of a tree would you be? Just question. So annoying.
My favorite line in this whole back and forth over the debates came from Chris Christie, who didn't sign the letter and was asked why he didn't sign it, and said, because it's stupid.
I love that.
Which I think is fabulous.
I know.
Christie brand.
And poor guy
Gonna miss him
now,
next week.
I know. It's not going to be the kids' table debate next time.